At just 27 years old, he was crowned the highest-paid goalkeeper in the world, a global star, known not only for his incredible reflexes on the field, but also for a presence that captivates millions, both through his game and his looks. Alisson Becker has become a household name, defending the goal for Liverpool and proudly wearing the #1 jersey for the Brazilian national team. But what most people don't know is that his journey to fame didn't begin under the bright lights of European stadiums. It began in silence, in a small city called Novo Hamburgo, deep in the south of Brazil. Long before the world knew his name, before the awards, the fame and the fortune, there was a boy with a dream and a path full of challenges, sacrifices and quiet victories. What did he leave behind to become who he is today? What moments shaped the man the world now celebrates? Behind every great athlete, there's an untold story, and Alisson's is one that very few know. Today, you're not just going to hear about the trophies or the contracts. You're going to discover the side of Alisson Becker that the headlines don't talk about, a journey full of mystery, transformation, and resilience. But before we dive into this unbelievable story, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to learn might just change everything you thought you knew about one of the greatest goalkeepers in the world. Before we dive into today's story, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that button. And don't forget to leave a like to help us reach even more people who love football stories as much as you do. Subscribed? Liked the video? Great. Now come with me as we uncover the extraordinary yet humble journey of one of the world's most admired goalkeepers, Alisson Becker. Many believe that Alisson was born destined for greatness, that his path to becoming Brazil's #1 goalkeeper and the most valuable keeper in the world by 2020 was written in the stars. But the truth, it wasn't all fame, glory, and golden gloves from the start. His story began in silence, far from the roaring stadiums of Europe, in the southern city of Novo Hamburgo, Brazil. Alisson's professional journey kicked off at Sport Club International, the same club where his older brother, Muriel Becker, had already carved out a place. At first glance, it may have seemed like Alisson had everything he needed to rise quickly: talent, lineage, and passion. But according to his father, things weren't always so clear-cut. Among his childhood football peers, Alisson was actually one of the last to mature. While others seemed to shine early on, he remained in the shadows, often sitting on the bench, watching from the sidelines, quietly learning. But something was growing within him, something only time would reveal. It wasn't until a twist of fate, an injury to his brother Muriel and a red card to the team's starting keeper, that Alisson finally got his chance. And when he did, he didn't just play. He owned that opportunity. In 2014, he stepped onto the field as a starter for International, and from that moment on, he never looked back. He defended the net for 108 consecutive matches, becoming an unshakable wall and a fan favorite in Porto Alegre. His performance caught the eye of national coach Dunga, who brought him into the Brazilian squad. And from there, things moved fast. Europe came knocking. After fielding multiple offers, Alisson transferred to Roma in 2016, and just 2 years later, he made the leap to the Premier League with Liverpool. At Anfield, he didn't just join the team, he became its foundation. Game after game, save after save, he proved not only his value, but his heart. According to FIFA, by 2020, Alisson had officially become the most valuable goalkeeper on the planet. And still, even with the weight of fame and expectation, he carries himself with the same calm determination he had back when he was just a kid sitting on the bench, waiting for his moment. From quiet beginnings to the global stage, Alisson's story reminds us that greatness isn't always loud in the beginning. Sometimes it grows slowly, patiently, until the world is finally ready to see it. You might look at the headlines, the millionaire contracts, the trophies, the roaring stadiums, and think you already know who Alisson Becker is. After all, This is the man who earns around 5 million euros per season. That's roughly 25 million Brazilian reais, just for doing what he does best, guarding the goal. But the real story goes far beyond numbers and salary figures. With over 6 million followers on Instagram, Alisson isn't just a football icon, he's also a quiet giant in the world of endorsements. He often uses his platform to promote respected brands, which significantly boosts his income each month. Yet even with all this fame and financial success, there's something about him that feels different. Unlike many of his peers, who live lavish lives and flaunt luxury at every turn, Alisson has chosen a quieter path, a path that feels grounded, real. Despite the fortune and the international spotlight, he lives a life many would call surprisingly simple, especially when compared to other football superstars. Today, Alisson shares a beautiful home in England with the people who mean the most to him, his wife and their children. Yes, it's a mansion, spacious, elegant, and undoubtedly worthy of a Premier League legend. But it's not the house itself that draws attention. It's the warmth of family that fills it. His wife, Natalia Inoue Bonfim, is also from southern Brazil and has been by his side through the highs and lows of his career. Although she's given a few interviews in the past, the couple tends to keep their private life private. You won't find scandalous headlines or showy displays. What you'll find instead is a quiet, supportive love, the kind that holds everything together behind the scenes. At just 22 years old, Alisson became a father for the first time. His daughter, Helena, was born in 2017, when he was still playing for Roma. 2 years later, in 2019, his son, Matteo, arrived, right as Alisson was rising to the peak of his career at Liverpool, becoming the most valuable goalkeeper in the world. These moments didn't just mark milestones in his personal life, they became part of his legacy. Even when it comes to cars, an area where most players go all in with extravagant collections, Alisson made a different choice. Instead of a garage full of flashy sports cars, he drives just one, a powerful Range Rover Sport. It's sleek, reliable and practical, a car that suits his personality perfectly. It cost him around 500,000 reais and delivers up to 525 horsepower, enough to meet his needs without excess or extravagance. It's the same car you'll find in the garages of many other elite athletes, but in Alisson's case, it doesn't scream status. It just gets the job done. And maybe that's the best way to describe Alisson himself. Someone who gets the job done, with grace, with humility, with a sense of purpose that goes far beyond the football pitch. In a world where athletes often become symbols of excess, Alisson stands out by doing the opposite. He reminds us that true greatness doesn't always need to be loud. Sometimes it speaks in small actions, in quiet leadership, and in the way a man chooses to live, not just as a star, but as a husband, a father, and a person of faith and humility. It's easy to look at Alisson Becker and see just the football, the saves, the titles, the big-name clubs, but behind the gloves and the chants of packed stadiums, there's a man whose lifestyle might surprise you. Let's start with his car. No, it's not a flashy sports car built for racing through the streets at lightning speed. In fact, the SUV he chose isn't even known for its top velocity, though it can reach 100 km/h in just 7.3 seconds. But that's not what matters to him. What matters is that it fits his life. A spacious, tech-packed, comfortable vehicle that carries the people he treasures most, his family. Because for Alisson, speed isn't the thrill. It's the quiet moments, the simple pleasures that make life meaningful. Despite being Brazil's #1 goalkeeper and one of the most respected names in world football, Alisson is surprisingly low-key. He's the definition of homebody. When he's not training or traveling with Liverpool, you'll most likely find him at home. He enjoys quiet afternoons sipping chimarrão, the traditional South Brazilian herbal tea, with his wife Natalia, someone who's been by his side long before the world knew his name. Their bond goes beyond the public eye. Together, they've built a life that's rooted in peace, simplicity, and togetherness. In his free time, he finds joy in the little things, strumming a guitar, grilling meat for a classic Brazilian churrasco, or taking his children out for playful afternoons at the mall or local playgrounds. He's not trying to be a superstar in every moment. Sometimes he just wants to be dad, just wants to be Alisson, and yet his trophy cabinet tells a different side of the story. Over the years, he has built a remarkable legacy filled with honours, both individual and team-based. In 2019, he was crowned the best goalkeeper of the Copa America, a tournament Brazil went on to win. That same year, FIFA recognized him as the best goalkeeper in the world. It was a year that marked a golden chapter in his career, but even then, he never let the spotlight change who he was. But let's be honest, it's not just his skills that catch people's attention. Alisson's looks have become part of the conversation too. Fans across the world, especially on social media, can't help but notice his sharp features, his calm eyes, and that quiet confidence have led many to nickname him the handsome goalkeeper. Even people who knew him growing up say he was always that kid who stood out, and some joke that if he hadn't made it in football, he could have easily walked the runway as a model. And how does his wife feel about all this attention? Natalia, ever the supportive partner, has admitted that after so many years by his side, she's simply gotten used to the compliments, the comments, and all the headlines. She knows who he is beyond the fame, and that's what truly matters. So now that you've gotten a glimpse behind the fame, behind the gloves and glamour, what do you think of Alisson Becker's story? Were you expecting someone so humble? Does it surprise you that the world's top goalkeeper finds joy not in luxury, but in simple family moments? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed diving into the life of this remarkable player, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share this video with your friends. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another curiosity like this one. And if you're up for it, why not start a curiosity marathon? 2 new videos are waiting for you on the screen right now. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.